Politics is all about perception. And as far as the battle of perception is concerned, the BJP and Modi is having upper hand.
The biggest loss what the ruling party is going to get is from phase number 6 and 7 only.
I mean, don't tell me her seat is in doubt.
Yes, her seat is in doubt.
In
because,
Mirzapur?
yes,
Anupriya Patel, Apna Dal Bastion.
a lot of people from her own community are disgruntled because she probably has not visited them.
But the larger picture, the number of seats BJP won last time and the number of seats they are going to win this time, almost will remain the same. Seats will change, but number will remain the same.
Hello everyone and welcome to the India story, the road to 2024. That road is now reaching its grand finale, it's reaching its culmination here in the city of Varanasi, a city which is represented of course by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So we are here on a little boat sort of sailing down the Ganga, and we are here with two really prominent political thinkers trying to understand not so much what's happening in Varanasi, because it's probably a open and shut case, well, probably open and shut case, but also what's happening in the rest of Purvanchal and Uttar Pradesh. So it's a great pleasure to welcome Utpal Pathak, who's a journalist on the ground, veteran journalist who really understands seat by seat, constituency by constituency, exactly what's happening. I remember coming and talking to you in 2019 also, and maybe before that, so great to have you here with us again. And Professor T.P. Singh is a professor of political science at the Banaras Hindu University, the BHU, so it's wonderful to have both of you with us to talk us through what's going to happen. Let me start with the big picture. Utpal, give us the big picture, not just Banaras, but what's happening, or Varanasi, what's happening in UP and what's happening in Purvanchal.
And I've been traveling to places in East UP and Central UP since past 1.5 months, and most of the rural constituencies as well. I found a little bit of dissent among the rural people living in the rural areas, and that dissent was not because of failure of any government or any policies. It was because of some local issues, but those local issues have grown up so much, like the issues of stray cattle, like the issue of the overall cost of agriculture which has come up, the cost of fertilizers, the seeds have gone up, and then the cost of diesel has gone up. So the overall cost of agriculture has gone up. They are not able to...
Stray cattle, the cost of imports, price rise, unemployment.
Agniveer.
Okay, Agniveer, okay, Agniveer and paper leak are new, but all the other issues are issues that you and I discussed in a situation I think we were having breakfast in a dhaba somewhere here in Varanasi. Some of those issues we discussed in 2019 as well, and then the BJP went on to virtually sweep the election. They got 62 seats, well 64 if you include the Apna Dal. What went wrong that time, and is it going to happen again this time? That all of the issues are fine, but at the end of the day people will say, "Bhai, hame to Modi ji ko vote dena hai."
Oh, I think this is not the situation of 2019 or 2022 anymore, because the people have now they have been bearing with the losses after the COVID days as well. So just add on 2 years of COVID, and then add on the loss coming from agriculture, and also add on the loss coming from unemployment of the youth because of the paper leaks and other things. All of them combined has resulted to a lot of dissent, especially among the rural mass. Not in the urban mass. BJP is quite confident in the urban areas and in the urban seats. But Purvanchal, say for example, Purvanchal, we divide, Purvanchal is a big land. We divide Purvanchal in two parts actually, in terms of reporting. So one is the northern part of Purvanchal and one is the southern part of Purvanchal. The southern part of Purvanchal, seats like Ghosi, Balia, Salempur, Ghazipur, Azamgarh, Machli Shahar, Lalganj, seats like Chandauli, these are certain seats where the ruling party is facing lots of troubles due to various issues.
Trouble because of various issues. Professor Singh, if I can turn to you. Whatever those issues are, there will be people who will say at the end of the day though, जब वोट डालने लोग जाएंगे तो वो कहेंगे नंबर 1 मोदी सरकार, नंबर 2 कहेंगे लॉ एंड ऑर्डर, जो इतने सारे यहाँ बड़े बड़े गैंगस्टर थे, माफिया थे, उन सबको ख़त्म कर दिया गया, और नंबर 3 कहेंगे राशन, खासतौर से महिलाएं कहेंगे राशन। और इन सब मुद्दों को ध्यान में रख के शायद एंड ऑफ द डे, शायद हिंदू मुस्लिम का भी सवाल आ जाएगा, राम मंदिर का सवाल आ जाएगा, तो एंड ऑफ द डे जब लोग वोट बटन दबाने जाएंगे कमल पर ही दबाएंगे. इज दैट अ फीजिबल सॉल्यूशन?
Yeah, Vikram, in fact the politics is all about perception. And as far as the battle of perception is concerned, the BJP and Modi is having upper hand. Yeah. Perception I am talking about. Yeah. 10 years is a pretty long time, and even in this 10 years, there has not been kind of anti-incumbency which is usually expected in a democratic political system. Yeah. So here Modi is clear winner, that even despite being in the power for the last 10 years.
Are you saying by here you are saying Varanasi? Are you saying Purvanchal? Are you saying Uttar Pradesh in general?
I'm talking about the large picture here. Oh. I'm talking about the whole of the country. Not I'm confining myself to Varanasi or Uttar Pradesh. I'm talking about the big picture here.
But now come to the specific issues that he said are a factor in Purvanchal or...
Yeah, many specific issues, even in the last election, etc. Even Notebandi was there, demonetization was there, GST issue was there. You know very well that probably first country in the world which is voted a political party which has introduced GST, because the global experience has been that wherever GST was introduced, the party which introduced GST lost the power in the next election. But here that has not been the case. So many things has happened in the past also, before 2019 also. This demonetization was there, GST was there.
So you're saying just as in 2019 those issues were overturned, you're saying that the same thing is going to happen this time. It's going to be a pro-incumbency vote.
What BJP has done, this Utpal was talking about the local issues. So deliberately, very beautifully they have done that. They have brought the Modi into the picture, and they have said there's vote for Modi, not for the local candidate, forget about the local issues. This paper leak and other things are
you know, that's okay. I'm just going to press the pause button there, because that I think is where the general elections 2024 almost hinge. Yeah. Because you're right. If it had been an election saying referendum on Modi, those ads coming saying Modi or who on the other side, if that had been the election, it would have been a foregone conclusion. Yeah. But there are some people who are saying what he is saying, ki bhai, at the end of the day, it's not so much about Modi ji or about national issues or all of that. It has become a collection of state elections, and therefore those local issues matter. Is that what you're picking up? Yes. Local issues are mattering more than the Modi factor, which operated in 14
and that's why BJP has coined a new slogan, Modi ki guarantee, because that's the only thing they can, project. So, because the people are only going to believe the guarantee of the Prime Minister. They're not going to believe the guarantee of the Member of Parliament. They're not going to believe in the guarantee of...
That's also partly because the Members of Parliament have not done a great job. I mean, I'm surprised that they didn't change more candidates in Uttar Pradesh.
We can see the plan of the model village. The Prime Minister has adopted 6-7 model villages, and a lot of things have been done on those model villages. But look at other model villages adopted by the Member of Parliaments in other areas. They have not done anything similar to what has been done in the model villages adopted by the Prime Minister.
So, do you think it is fair to say that the BJP is again playing that one card, which is, and this is why the challenge is, they are playing the Modi card. Narendra Modi, Modi is guaranteed, that's the card. But their candidates are not necessarily very good, not in all of the places. If anything, the Samajwadi Party has got its candidates together. And those issues of stray cattle or paper leaks or unemployment or price rise, those have surfaced a little bit more. Would you agree?
This Indian electorate is very mature. And the issue of stray cattle and issue of paper leak, everybody knows this thing, that how can you hold your Prime Minister responsible for these local responsibilities. And Indian electorate has been voting differently in a different elections. You see the Delhi electorate, within a couple of months they change their decision. They are voting for Aam Aadmi Party in the Delhi election, and immediately they vote for the BJP.
So Loksabha, you're saying they'll be voting on national...
Everybody knows that for stray cattle, how can you hold Modi responsible? For paper leak, etc. These are the local issues.
Is that a fair point? I mean, there is that differential voting. We might see it in Odisha, and on the same day, for example, BJP for the centre.
The seats of Purvanchal, stray cattle is an issue in Purvanchal because we have got small farmers here. But paper leak is an issue of the entire UP. This is an issue where I've been to Western UP also. We met in Raebareli, Amethi, if you remember this year. I've also listened to the same thing in Raebareli, Amethi, Sultanpur, Ayodhya. Paper leak is a pan-UP thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure about this. Stray cattle is something only limited to East UP. We have got certain districts which give a lot of young lads to military. Like we have a district of Ghazipur, like we have district of Mau, we have got other districts as well. if you drive towards Gazipur at any hour of the day, you'll find some young lads, running on the highways, the sides of the highways, because Gazipur, whenever there's a saying here in Purvanchal that whenever India goes to a battle, the first coffin which comes of a martyr comes to Gazipur. Gazipur is the land of martyrs.
Agniveer
So Agniveer has Agniveer and paper leak. These two things are pan-UP issues.
Purvanchal, you think these are going to have a
Yeah,
factor?
these are local issues. Definitely, it is there. Yeah. But I don't think that this is going to change the decision of the people, because they are voting for the larger issues. Yeah. And when they are taking out the larger issues, so paper leak and strike cattle, etc., these are important. Yeah. But they are not going to vote out the central government because of these small local issues. Yeah. Okay. They can be decisive factor in state assembly election, etc. But for national election, I don't think that is a major issue. But definitely, issue is there. Agniveer issue is there. Stray cattle is there, paper leak is there.
Let me come to two other issues that have a particular lot of significance here in Purvanchal. Number one is, of course, the question of law and order. Now, again, you could say that that's not a national issue, that's a state issue, but Yogi Adityanath has been given a lot of credit by a lot of people for cracking down on mafias. He keeps on talking about it. Gazipur, not very far from here, where there used to be gangsters. You go to Allahabad, there were other gangsters, a lot of them have been killed. There are people who will say that law and order is something that will resonate, especially with women. Would you agree with that?
Yes, in terms of...
even if it's a state issue, it may have a bearing on the...
In terms of UP, yes, we can say that the law and order has, increased into a positive manner under the, command of Yogi Adityanath as Chief Minister. And the crime control has taken a big leap. We can say that. We have been seeing the data and the records also. And the organized crime has been, they have put a good dent in the organized crime network and syndicates of lots of big criminals and known people. So that is a point, and that's why the Prime Minister is also, naming the Chief Minister in each of his rallies. You see, from the third phase, the Prime Minister is mentioning the name of Yogi Adityanath in almost all of his rallies in UP, not only in UP, out of UP as well.
But you had Arvind Kejriwal doing his own attempts to do some mirch masala, and you keep hearing about it that by Yogi and Modi and Yogi ko hata denge. Those are the sort of statements that Kejriwal. Has that resonated with anyone out here? Ki Yogi ko hata denge?
No, it is being discussed at the chai ki dukaan, etc. It is being discussed, but nobody is taking it seriously. Everybody knows that this is the politics here. Yogi ko hata denge, and even not only Yogi, even Gadkari is also being talked about, that Gadkari ko hata denge. Now there is a report that some BJP people are involved in getting the Gadkari defeated. So these are the things people are not, because of politics here.
Let me now come to the very crucial point of communities. Look, let's look back again at 2019. If there was ever an election that the opposition should have done well in, it was 2019, because you're the Bahujan Samaj Party and the Samajwadi Party fighting together. They were together. Getting an alliance like that was, people said, is impossible. Now in this election, they're not together, and many would argue that the Bahujan Samaj Party is quite weak. So the crucial question will now become, what is going to happen? Is the BSP going to get the votes to itself? Or if the BSP voters are not going to vote for the BSP, which way will they go? The Jatavs in particular. Are they going to go to the Samajwadi Party in Congress, or will they go to the BJP? What's your sense of how that works, sir?
Sir, two things actually. 2019, before 2019, BSP always used to have 20% of vote share, which even if they are not getting any seats, but they were having that 19-20% of vote share. 2019, they made this Gathbandhan alliance with Samajwadi Party. The votes of BSP didn't shift it towards Samajwadi Party, but the Samajwadi Party votes got shifted towards BSP, and that's why BSP has got some number of member parliaments from UP in 2019. Come 2022, BSP was contesting alone. They came down to around 10 to 11%, which was almost half of their exact vote share. Now, where Samajwadi Party claims that all of the vote went to them in 2022, I'm not buying that fact, because the youth, especially the Dalit youth, especially the youth which is from age group of 18 to 32 or 35, they tend to vote for BJP for various reasons. For the PM Awas, for some other things, from Ration is new, but there were other things as well. So the young Dalits, the young Dalits, they've supported BJP in 2022 assembly elections in UP. But the older ones, above 35, that with the mindset of Bam Safe and Ambedkar thought process and Kashi Ram's followers and Mayawatiji's followers, they still voted for BSP in 2022. Now, the same age group, above 35 age group, is not voting for BSP anymore in these elections.
But will they be willing to vote for the Samajwadi Party? Because if you look at it for the Dalits, quite often that's the reason why the votes didn't transfer in 2019, because they sometimes feel we're not going to vote for a Yadav candidate. Now, two things are there. One, this entire risk around the constitution or this question ki Samvidhan ko badal dein means that they are more concerned. And B, the Samajwadi Party has put up a number of candidates who are designed to attract Dalit votes almost. So is it going to be different? Because traditionally they don't vote for Yadavs.
I think the opposition, in some ways, they got it. They easily communicated this message of constitution change and all that. So now it is being discussed among the Dalit community, from the poor, downtrodden, I mean the last man standing in the society, till someone who has got Ambedkarite thoughts and doing his PhD in Columbia University or Penn University in America. If he is having a pro-Dalit mindset, if he is having a pro-Ambedkar mindset, he is discussing that there might be a chance that certain things in the constitution might get changed. So the opposition has quickly, you try to use this in their rally, especially in central UP, in Rohilkhand regions and non-Jatav regions of Dalits as well. But the younger Dalits, they still don't care about this fact.
Before I come back to broader, just want to ask you very quickly. I assume Varanasi is not in play. There's no real discussion as to who's winning in Varanasi.
Not.
So that's a done question.
This is not an
Margin is the only issue. Yeah.
The only question is the margin.
We're not even spending a lot of time reporting in Varanasi.
Let's move on then from Varanasi back to some of the other questions that we were discussing. And I want to come back actually to the community issue that we were talking about. If you look at what the Samajwadi Party had tried to do, specifically in 2022, was let's broaden from Muslim Dalits to also get some of the other caste combines in, the Nishads, the others. And that effort had been made. Rajbhar was there with them, Sanjay Nishad was there with them. They're not with them anymore. Is that going to have a major impact, you feel, and your sense of which way the Dalit vote is going to go?
You see now BJP under Narendra Modi and Janasangh and BJP in earlier phase is entirely different here. Now BJP, you can say, like the Rajni Kothari's Congress system, so the BJP has also like a Congress, it's an umbrella party. So now it has everything here. Even this Ambedkar legacy has also been appropriated, and it has been through a strategy. Modi has done it, trying to appropriate Ambedkar's legacy, and he has done a lot of things for Ambedkar and his ideas. And then caste, you are talking about the caste who are Nisad and others who were earlier, Rajbhar, who were earlier with the Congress, they have also come with the BJP. So now the BJP is more diverse party, Rajbhars are there, Kurmis are there, other than Yadavas, everyone is there. So, and Modi himself is wearing his OBC identity on his sleeve. He is proud of always declaring himself to OBC. So now OBCs are also.
That's going to happen?
That's going to happen, sir, but there are
And one more thing, and OBCs are also identify themselves with Modi that one of us is the Prime Minister of this country. And so first time one OBC has been the Prime Minister. So that is why the OBC vote, which used to go to Samajwadi Party, Lalu's Rashtriya Janata Dal, etc., that is no longer the case. Now BJP is the major claimant of the OBC party, and that has a major factor in BJP winning many seats in North India.
Your sense of what you're picking up when you've been touring these areas?
The non-Kurmi, non-Maurya OBC sections, especially, which are most backward, extremely backward. There are a lot of communities in Uttar Pradesh like Rajbhar, Bhar, Dhar, Dharkar, Bihar, Dunia, lots of them, around more than 50. These were termed as floating votes in previous elections in 2019 or 2022. Most of them, or almost all of them, went towards BJP. ये आप जो percentage देख रहे थे 39%, 41% BJP का, it was combined with this non-Kurmi, non-Maurya OBCs also. But now these voters who were supposedly the floating voters in previous elections are the key to success in these elections, because they believe that the rights of OBCs or the things which were being delivered for the OBCs were taken mostly by the creamy layer caste, like the Yadavs and the Kurmis and the Mauryas. So now they believe that हमें तो ठग लिया गया, हमें तो कुछ नहीं मिला, and that's why they might change their decision.
Okay, let's now come to the crunch. After all, we are with two of the top political thinkers in Purvanchal entire area, so I'm going to ask you the direct question. How much do you see the BJP getting in Uttar Pradesh in general and Purvanchal in particular? Utpal, why don't I start?
I mean, I can never be a predictor or an astrologer, but yes, on the basis of what I've seen in my travels, I think they're getting a loss of at least in double digits in UP.
Double digit. So last time they got 62. So you're saying they're going to be 52 or below?
Kind of.
52 or below?
Kind of.
Nobody is expecting that sort of a number, because
I'm saying
the BJP is thinking it's going to be 70 plus, and then the others are saying 67.
In terms of national politics, BJP might easily form the government. But in terms of UP, especially East UP and Central UP, they're not getting good results. What I have seen, but we can't be astrologers, we can't be predictors. I mean,
No, but I'm just saying you sort of dropped a little bit of a bombshell into the Ganga out here by making that remark. What do you feel? Do you agree with him?
Exact number I can't talk about, but by
The broad trend that he just mentioned.
no, I don't agree with him. My sense is that couple of seats here and there, seats definitely will change, but the larger picture will remain the same. So status quo will remain. One or two seats gain or loss is not.
Wait a minute. You're saying a couple of seats. So let me go back to 2019. BJP got 62 last time. Add 2, which the Apna Dal got not very far from here. That's 64, right? So you're saying the BJP alone will be up or down 2 from 62?
Around 60.
Around 60, you're saying, is the BJP in Uttar Pradesh. That's interesting, because then neither of you is saying that the BJP is likely to gain, to go up to the 70, 75 numbers that many people were expecting.
Difficult.
that is difficult.
That is difficult.
Why do you think it's difficult? I'm just trying to understand, because you just summed up that there's this Modi vote and everything else. I'm just trying to understand. I'm being a pesky journalist to try and figure out why you think it's difficult, seeing as you'd given a lot of reasons as to why you think people are voting for Modi.
Constituency factor is there. So local factors, constituency factors.
So local factors, local candidates and all means that they could end up losing 15, 20 seats.
I would like to add up one more thing, sir. BJP would also face loss because of the alliance partners. Apna Dal and Nishad Party and even Rajbhar, they're not getting that ground what they used to get in previous elections.
Yeah, but the BJP is not contesting all. People don't often keep that in mind. They're only contesting 75.
Voters who want to vote for BJP, they're not happy with the alliance partners also in those seats, especially where the alliance partners are contesting. So they're saying that if BJP would have given ticket to anyone, we would have given vote to the person. But now these alliance partners, they don't listen to us. That's what the original BJP voters used to think. You go to Mirzapur, Anupriya Patel is contesting from there.
I mean, don't tell me her seat is in doubt.
Yes, her seat is in doubt
In
because
Mirzapur.
because
Anupriya Patel, Apna Dal,
a
Bastion.
lot of people from her own community are disgruntled because she probably has not visited them. So Mirzapur is not looking like the same Mirzapur of 2019 or 2020.
You're dropping bomb after. Any other bombs you want to drop before I turn to him? So you're saying now even Anupriya Patel is in trouble. What
Just
else?
sharing the experiences, what I have got from the ground and what people have been telling me.
So okay, let's go up this entire area, right? Chandoli, Ghazipur, I know you go up towards Gorakhpur, Kushinagar.
No, the Gorakhpur region is quite fine because of the Yogi Adityanath factor and because of the other factors as well. So the Gorakhpur region, I mean, their BJP is not...
Yogi will pull them through, you're saying.
BJP is not getting a lot of problems in that region, especially the Gorakhpur surrounding areas. Come towards this side of Purvanchal. Seats like Balia, Salempur, Ghosi, Ghazipur, Azamgarh, Lalganj, Machli Shahar, Chandoli, Mirzapur, Bhadoi, all of these seats, I mean, even the senior leadership of BJP is not confirmed that they're going to win or not. You can ask this.
Some of these are phase 6, some of these are phase 7. So are you saying that phase 6 and phase 7 to your mind have been the most challenging for the BJP?
That's right. The biggest loss, if that happens, the biggest loss what the ruling party is going to get is from phase number 6 and 7 only, in these last two phases.
Now, come in on all of that. He's made some very important and major statements out there.
Utpal has done the ground level work, so I can give you the big picture. The constituency.
So which parts of what he said do you disagree with? He's saying that phase 6. Well, I'll tell you something. A lot of people believe that the stronger part for the alliance was going to be for the Samajwadi Party and the Congress is going to be the, Kannauj, Mainpuri, maybe a little bit of Western UP in that entire, Rampur, Muradabad, Sambhal belt, then Amethi, Raebareli maybe, in Mainpuri and Kannauj maybe. That's where the debate was. What he's saying now that there are going to be challenges in Purvanchal is in a sense something which a lot of people hadn't factored in. I'm not saying it's not happening, I'm saying that a lot of people hadn't factored in. Do you think it's a chance that this entire area could be up for grabs?
Challenge has been everywhere. Even I think BJP was weakest in Mulayam Singh Westian there in Etawah and neighboring districts.
But I would almost expected that there would be some challenge there.
But here in this side where we are going to have the elections on 1st June, every seats I can't talk about, but the larger picture, the number of seats BJP won last time and the number of seats they are going to win this time, almost will remain the same. Seats will change, but number will remain the same. That is my sense here.
Overall, there will not be that much change. So you're at around the 60-62 number is what you're saying for the BJP in Uttar Pradesh, and you're saying there could be a further drop down of 8 or 10. He said it's because of local factors that may override the Modi factor. Why do you think that it will be a bigger drop than what he's saying?
I'm not going to, contradict, because he's a very learned person. I respect him a lot. I'm not going to contradict him on anything. But so I'll give you another example. Let's go to South Bihar. It's just nearby Varanasi. We go to this Sasaram seat, which comprises of more than 2.5 districts. There, the farmers are disgruntled because of the Bharatmala road project, which will connect this national highway to Ranchi. They're not against the road project. They're against Nitish Kumar's, one of the policies, that he has not expanded the circle rate of the land in Bihar since past 10-15 years. So the compensation what the farmers are getting in name of the Bharatmala project will be in terms of Bihar state rules. So they're getting it like peanuts, If they're supposed to get 100 rupees, they're getting only 10 rupees. So that's one of the reasons of dissent, and the number of those farmers is a lot. I'm giving an example of South Bihar sitting in UP, in order to explain that there are certain local factors in every seat which might add up to...
I think what you're saying, if I understand you correctly, is that, look, there is this overall narrative that he's talking about, the Modi factor, the nationalism factor, the India, the Viksit Bharat, the dreams of the future, that is there.
And one more factor, Labharti.
Labharti, I was about to come to that. Then you're saying that there are local factors that could erode this. But what he has just said is actually the really interesting question. Do men and women A, think the same and vote in the same way, and B, the Labharti factor, is that something that is going to make a major difference?
The most decisive factor is Labharti factor, because they come from the poor people, they are landless people, and they are dependent upon the free rations and other things, and they constitute a large section of the population here in this area, one of the most backward regions of the country. So this Labharti factor is very important, and that is not being discussed by the media.
Well, the Labharti, I think you're right, by the way. In 2019, I remember the number of places which I went to, and I kept on saying I should have highlighted it more. The fact that especially women, when you would go to them, they would constantly think, Shauchale ban gaya, Shauchale ban gaya. Is there the risk to your thesis, or the sort of a thing which could disrupt what you are saying? Could it be the Labharti factor, and women in particular being very influenced?
So the Labharti factor still exists. There's no point of just leaving it out. But there are certain areas, there are certain spaces where the women have told me that, okay, we're getting free ration, but that does not make any difference. Okay, we're getting certain things, but it's not making any difference because of the price rise and because of other issues as well. They are happy with the beneficiary schemes. They're happy with the toilets. They're happy with the Pradhan Mantri Awas, wherever they've given, and most of them, they've got the Pradhan Mantri Awas also in certain areas. So they're not complaining against all those things. But the problem is that they're saying that sirf ration se hamara kya hoga? That's the question. I mean, 5 kilo ration se hamara kaam nahi chal raha hai. I mean, we need something else. We need some self-employment initiatives as well. Because ये जो MSME के जो schemes या जो और grants वगैरह बैंक से help, ये सब कुछ, all of these have reached
to somebody in the Ghat side, and they were all BJP supported, by the way. They said we're voting for Modi, but they said हमें पहले भी ration मिलता था, sort of a thing, and I mean अब नौकरी चाहिए.
हाँ, so ये जो schemes है, mostly the schemes regarding business loans and other things, ये rural areas में उतना नहीं पहुँच पाई जितना urban areas में थे. Urban areas, you go to any urban city, you go to even the urban part of Bhadoi, which is a semi-urban, semi-rural seat. You go to the urban part, people say कि नहीं हमें loan मिला था, हम गए थे मांगने के लिए loan, हमें loan मिला था. But go towards the rural part, they'll say no, वो bank manager में वहाँ corruption है, and then this, then broker is there. So एक जो
is there a rural urban or a male female difference in the Labharti vote, you think?
It's there, but not very important factor. Yeah. Some point difference is there, but usually here people vote as per family. Yeah. So family,
So men and women vote the same way,
Yeah.
you are saying by now. Okay, one last question to both of you, and then I promise I'm going to allow you to go and maybe enjoy the scenes out there and some of the aarti that we are actually, I think there's still the end of the aarti is still going on in the distance there. Let's come back to, if you had asked me in February or March, I would have said there's no point even going to Uttar Pradesh in these elections because it's a done and dusted election. Why is it done and dusted? Because you've got Ram Mandir, you've got Hindutva and other aspects, you've got Modi, of course, you've got Yogi, you've got law and order. All of these becomes a cocktail which is almost impossible to overturn, and so none of that is going to operate. Are these still operating? The Ram Mandir and the Hindu-Muslim factor, is it operating overtly or beneath the surface or no?
it is still there. Probably not that much important as it was when Pran Pratishtha took place, but it is still there. Definitely Ram Mandir factor is there, and other factors are also there. But yes, in the meantime, the opposition parties have also mobilized themselves, so they are
It's
also
not a decisive factor, you're saying. It's there, but it's not become the decisive factor which it perhaps was looking like in February and March.
It is the one factor, but can't say only factor here.
So Ram Mandir did not become, in a sense, Balakot in Pulwama, which would happen in 2019. Is that? And also, it's been a long time, right? Months have passed, and this election has dragged on and on and on, week after week in the sun. So you start thinking of other things.
True. And Ram Mandir has reached the the topmost point of discussion in the time of Pran Pratishtha in January and February itself. उसके बाद वो discussion का point जो है वो नीचे ही आएगा. And then the summers are here. March के बाद में गर्मी और बढ़ जाती है. And then see, opposition was doing a lot of mistakes also in the beginning, but now since they're getting some backing from the voters, especially in the rural areas, so now आपको देखने में सबको देखने में ये लग रहा है कि नहीं कि जो लहर है या भीड़ जो आपको दिख रही है वो उसमें चमत्कार से ज़्यादा मुझे लगता है कि पब्लिक की नाराज़गी है जो उनकी तरफ भीड़ बढ़ा रही है. ऐसा नहीं कि उन्होंने कोई बहुत कुछ ऐसा कर दिया जिसको लेकर के कोई अभिलेख लिखे जाएंगे कि नहीं, कि राजनीति शास्त्र के जो विद्वान हैं वो उसको लेकर के रिसर्च करेंगे कि नहीं इन्होंने कोई ऐसा कैंडिडेट दे दिया. नहीं, उन्होंने एक बहुत रेगुलर सोशल इंजीनियरिंग की है कहीं पर भी टिकट डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में. कोई वैसा बहुत स्मार्ट वो भी नहीं है. यहाँ तक कि शुरुआत में जब आप अलायंस के बारे में देखिए तो समाजवादी पार्टी दे हैव गिवन 2 seats टू कांग्रेस विच समाजवादी पार्टी. देयर आर सर्टेन सीट्स विच समाजवादी पार्टी हैव नेवर वन इन पास in across their history of Samajwadi.
Yeah, they've given them, like, they gave them Varanasi.
They gave them Varanasi.
Have fun
they
fighting
gave them
Modi
certain
out here
seats
in
which they have
Varanasi.
never won. So now the opposition is holding some ground. Now the people are trying to support them. तो अब ये दिखने में लग रहा है
And
कि
this constitution was a card that they leapt upon, that 400 part.
समय के साथ साथ में उन्होंने भी अपने अंदर थोड़ा सा परिवर्तन लाया. They have expanded their ways of during the PR and the campaign tactics have changed. They have been changing the tactics. They've been using certain words and they've been coining certain slogans. So now they are...
And they made it into a local, more of a state election rather than a national election.
more of a state election rather than national election.
All right, well, all of this is debates and discussions. We'll only know on the 4th of June. But thank you both so much for joining us in the heat. I can tell you, even though it's night here in Varanasi,
it's around 45.
It's 45 degrees even now. Right? It's, I think, about 10 o'clock at night almost. It is 10 o'clock at night, but it's still 45 degrees. That's how hot it is. So we're all bathed in sweat. Thank you so much for joining us on the India Story Road to 2024.